Today, we're going to talk about a platform that has taken the digital world by storm. A platform that has declared war on Twitter. A platform that accumulated 10 million users within the first 7 hours of its launch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Threads. Unlike most newcomers, Threads didn't tiptoe onto the scene. It exploded. In today's video, we would explore the rise of Threads, the problems it's trying to solve, and the ones it could potentially create. We'll dig into the appeal it holds for users and examine the impact it might have on the broader social media landscape. And we'll tackle the big question, is Threads the true challenger to Twitter? Or could it be destined to fizzle out in a year, leaving Twitter to continue its reign uncontested? The launch of Threads was nothing short of remarkable. Right now, as I speak to you, Threads has over 100 million users. That's 1/3 of Twitter's user base in less than 2 weeks of launch. Now, that's quicker than a cheetah on a caffeine rush. But the real reason behind Threads' huge influx is how it leveraged Meta's large user base. With an automatic connection to Facebook and Instagram profiles, Threads instantly had access to millions of potential users. This clever integration strategy gave Threads a massive head start. But as any veteran of the social media arena would tell you, a shiny debut doesn't guarantee a standing ovation at the end. In these digital Hunger Games, platforms rise and fall like dominoes, and user loyalty is as steady as a three-legged chair. The real test for Threads is whether it can keep up the sprint or if it's going to be out of breath before the finish line. Despite its skyrocketing rise, I've got a hunch that Threads might just be a bubble ready to burst. Only time will tell if it's a shooting star or just a firefly with a short-lived glow. The social media landscape has witnessed a recurring pattern of platforms attempting to imitate the successful features of their competitors. However, more often than not, these efforts fail to achieve the same level of user engagement as the original platform, resulting in a cycle of initial excitement followed by gradual decline in interest. A classic instance of this trend is Instagram's endeavor to replicate the success of YouTube and TikTok. First, it decided to ride the TikTok wave with its own Reels. With a wink and a nudge, Instagram decided to replicate the infectious energy of TikTok's bite-sized, fun-filled video content. But unfortunately, Reels couldn't quite dance the TikTok dance, proving that copying another platform's mojo is a bit like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Another attempt at imitation was Instagram's IGTV, designed to rival YouTube's stronghold on long-form video content. Despite the initial hype, IGTV failed to engage audiences at the same level as YouTube, leading Instagram to discontinue it as a standalone app and fold it into the main platform. This move essentially acknowledged the challenge of moving audiences away from a well-established platform like YouTube. Threads, Meta's latest venture, seems to be on a similar path. Its striking similarity to Twitter has led many to label it as a copycat platform. Given the history of such platforms, questions arise about Threads' ability to compete with Twitter, or whether it will end up as just another passing trend. In a notable deviation from the typical social media business model, Threads has announced that it does not plan to display any ads until it reaches a user base of 1 billion. While this might initially appear as a user-friendly approach, it also points to the underlying strategy that could have significant implications for both the platform and its users. However, despite the seeming nobility of this gesture, it's crucial to understand the potential revenue generation strategy that could be at play here. Even without displaying ads, Threads can still generate substantial revenue through its extensive data collection practices. While signing up for Threads, you would have to agree to the attempts to collect a wealth of user data, including even your health data. This goldmine of information is more delicious to advertisers than a 5-star buffet. It offers them invaluable insight into our habits and preferences, serving up the perfect recipe for targeted marketing. So, even though Threads promises a billboard-free experience, it could be quietly cashing in by playing matchmaker between corporations and your data. In the business, they call this data brokerage, and it's a money-making machine that could rival a golden goose. In the dynamic world of social media, migrating audiences from existing platforms to new ones is a daunting challenge. This process involves overcoming deeply ingrained user habits and the strong sense of community users have formed in their preferred platforms. One of the main sticky points is the emotional investment users have made in their existing platforms. It's like they spent years building a super elaborate sandcastle, complete with channels and towers, and now they are being asked to abandon it to start afresh on a new beach. Plus, they've gotten comfortable with the layout of the sand, the proximity to the ice cream truck, the works. Another key factor is the sense of community. Established platforms are like bustling town squares, buzzing with interactions and connections. New platforms, despite their shiny new features, often feel like ghost towns in comparison. Moreover, users often resist migrating to new platforms due to the perceived fragmentation it brings about. Users typically prefer to manage their social interactions on a few platforms, and introducing another platform can seem like an unwelcome complication. However, Threads took a unique approach to this issue. The real driving force behind Threads' significant user influx is its strategic leveraging of Meta's extensive user base. By automatically connecting to users' Facebook and Instagram profiles, Threads instantly had access to millions of potential users. This integration strategy gave Threads a massive initial user base, providing it with a significant advantage from the outset. Despite this head start, Threads still faces the challenge of retaining this user base and attracting new users. Replicating Twitter's features may not be sufficient. Threads needs to offer something unique and compelling to keep users engaged and encourage others to join. Threads has triggered a wave of discussion regarding its data collection practices, which include both common and controversial aspects that have raised eyebrows worldwide. Threads collects a wealth of user data, ranging from direct inputs such as names, email addresses, and content shared on the platform, to more indirect information like user interactions with the app, to the type of content users view or engage with. But Threads doesn't stop there. It dives deeper, scraping up metadata and location info like a hungry squirrel hoarding nuts for winter. And hold on to your hats, folks. It's even sniffing around health-related data. It's like Threads is trying to play doctor without a license, which can make anyone a little nervous. These Sherlock Holmes-like tendencies means Threads is currently not available in the European Union, where they take data privacy as seriously as a Frenchman takes his wine. The EU's rules around data protections are tighter than a hipster's skinny jeans. So for now, it's been shown the door in the EU. Predicting the trajectory of new platforms can be tricky. However, given the patterns we've seen with previous platforms and the current landscape, the outlook for Threads seems uncertain. One of the critical factors that could potentially contribute to Threads' downfall is its lack of unique value proposition. Threads shares significant similarities with Twitter, and while imitation might seem like a path to quick victory, history tells a different story. Instagram's Reels and IGTV, for example, despite mimicking TikTok and YouTube respectively, failed to overshadow or even match the popularity of the original platforms. Data privacy is another critical aspect that could impact Threads' future. The platform's extensive data collection, including sensitive health and location data, has raised significant privacy concerns. If Threads fails to address its concerns effectively, it could lead to a loss of user trust, which could be devastating for the platform. Finally, the success of a social media platform largely depends on how well it can adapt to changing user preferences and trends. Threads burst onto the social media scene like a surprise confetti cannon, gaining users faster than a pop-up ice cream truck on a hot summer day. However, as the initial excitement subsides, Threads is left facing a plethora of challenges that could determine its future. The first stumbling block, Threads' striking resemblance to Twitter. That's all well and good for a quick novelty fix, but in the long run, it's like 7 reheated leftovers at a fancy dinner party. To keep folks coming back for more, Threads will need to whip up some original recipe. Moreover, Threads' extensive data collection practices, particularly its collection of health and location data, have raised serious privacy concerns. If Threads fails to address these issues effectively, it could face significant backlash and loss of user trust. Content moderation and newsfeed issues present additional challenges. Managing the balance between freedom of speech and preventing the spread of harmful content is a complex job that Threads will need to handle adeptly. In conclusion, while Threads has made a splash in the social media world, its journey is filled with challenges. Will it sail into the sunset or sink like a stone? It all depends on whether it can steer clear of the obstacles and offer users something they can't resist. As we watch the Threads saga unfold, we are reminded of the roller coaster ride that is the social media world. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be interesting. And there you have it, folks. If you enjoyed this video, do hit the like button and subscribe. It's easier than trying to tickle a sleeping dragon. Until next time, stay tuned and see you in the next video.